Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. Welcome to Food Allergy Canada's Allergy Pals Monthly. So my name is Juliet, and I'm so excited to welcome you guys to this month's session. If you were in here last time, this is how it works. We'll talk about a certain topic and have some fun polls, interactive activities, and then a question and answer period at the end. This month's theme is one that I love: food allergies and Valentine's Day. Okay, just to go over how to participate, so there's a couple of ways that you guys can participate during the session. So you guys can participate with the question box, which is just going to be on your GoToMeeting panel, like it shows on the picture here. You can write whatever you can write the question that you have on the question panel, or if I ask you guys a question, you guys can also answer it through using that. You can also do something on your panel called raising your hand. So by clicking that button and raising your hand, I can then unmute you and you can speak with your microphone so that everybody can hear you. Okay, so first poll question. So will you guys be making Valentine's cards this year? Yes, no, or not sure yet? Okay, so a bunch of you are saying, ooh, right down the middle for yes and not sure, which is totally cool. And then there's a couple of you that also put no. Cool. Okay, guys, so my allergies. So I'm allergic to peanuts, tree nuts, fish, and shellfish. My hobbies are swimming, reading, and watching sports. Actually, just before this started, I was watching the All-Star game for the NHL. It was so good. My favorite Valentine's treat, I love Laura Secord chocolates because I know they have a nut-free section, so I love having their chocolates on special occasions. And three things that I love: one's gonna have to be reading, one's gonna have to be sports because I love sports, and then the third thing is gonna be my friends and family. And just another poll question, guys. So what first comes to your mind when you guys think of Valentine's Day? So you can select one of the following: Valentine's cards, love, chocolate and treats, hearts, or maybe something else. So, so no one says Valentine's Day is about Valentine's cards, and I'm gonna have to agree. It's a nice gesture, but it's nice to also do some other things. Half of you guys pick love and chocolate, and some of you guys also pick hearts. Those are great answers. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so raise your hand if you think it might be tough to have allergies on Valentine's Day. So what makes it hard? So type your answer into the question box below or raise your hand to speak. Okay, Christopher, I see you have your hand raised. Do you want to share?
It's James actually, and he's worried about having treats at school that he doesn't know if they're safe or not.
Okay, thank you so much for that, James. Okay, so Tara says food parties at school. So I think that's really along the same lines as what James was sharing. Andrea or Andrea, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, hun. She says eating gifted treats that might have nuts. So I'm seeing, guys, that a lot of these have to do with food and like the types of foods that people are even people could be having at school, or things that people could be having bringing to school. That could be making us a little bit worried. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so food sharing. So the major thing I want to get across to you guys is we need to be on alert during Valentine's Day because not all treats are going to be safe for us. So there's so many different treats that can be going around. It's kind of like Halloween, just a little bit. They're just because there's so much candy and so much chocolate around. So there's candies, lollipops, chocolates, baked goods. My question to you guys, do your classmates bring in treats? And if they do, what kind? Raise your hand or write it in the question box below. Tara says yes, cookies, chocolates, and candy. And Carolyn also says yes, people do bring in treats. Lots of treats. Okay, great. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. Okay, so what kind of non-food items can you guys share? Let's write our answers in the question box below. So things that do not have food in them. So it could be anything that's not, that you can't eat. So a bunch, I see Daniel, Renata, Susan, Andrea, you guys all said cards, and you're 100% right. Cards are such a great thing to share with people that still lets people know that you're thinking of them, and that you want to celebrate Valentine's Day, but it's also something that's safe for everybody. Thank you guys for sharing that. Andrea also shares, yes, some people bring in cookies. And Renata says, yes, people bring in all types of treats. Someone also said stickers, cards, pencils, and little games. And Tara says pencils and erasers from the dollar store. Those are some great ideas, guys. So I just want to show you guys that you guys can still participate in Valentine's Day. You can still have a good time, but maybe not by sharing food and having the chocolates. Maybe by giving out an eraser, maybe by giving out cards. There are so many other ways that you guys can celebrate and have a good time. Okay, so poll question. So will you guys be going to a Valentine's Day party or dance this year? So select one of the following. Yes, no, or not sure yet. So a bunch of you, most of you guys are saying yes, that you will be going to a Valentine's Day party or dance. A few of you are saying no, and then a few of you are saying not sure yet. Very great. So even if you're not sure, or even if you're not going to a Valentine's Day party or dance, it's still important to be prepared and to know what's safe and what's not safe, so that you can go in there very confident and knowing what you want to do. So Valentine's Day parties and dances oftentimes have treats and sweets that people are either sharing or they're handing out. The biggest piece of advice I can give you guys is to not eat anything that you're unsure of. So that means not grabbing things without ingredient lists. Don't grab things that maybe somebody baked at home. If your friend Susie brought cookies from home, because those are types of stuff that you actually don't know what's in them. Another thing that you guys can do is bring treats from home. I always carry something in my purse just in case I get hungry, or let's just say something's being passed around to everybody and I want something just to kind of nibble on. I always carry either a chewy bar or like a little mini Aero bar, just so that I can feel a little bit more involved. Games can also sometimes involve food. So you want to make sure that you understand that you can't eat the food that's not safe for you. Crafts are also such a great idea. So sometimes they can contain allergens, but you want to make sure you're doing crafts like you guys see the hearts over here, that you're cutting out hearts by making cards to hand out to your classmates. There are so many things that you guys can do that doesn't involve food. So what was the best Valentine's Day party you've ever attended? Write your answer in the question box below or raise your hand to talk. So one of the best Valentine's Day parties I ever attended, when I look back at my childhood, I always think of all the cards that we made and all the cards that we handed out. We'd always make like a huge party of it where everybody would kind of like make a basket and put it at the side of their desk, and then everybody would go around and hand out the cards. And opening them and getting to read like the messages or just kind of seeing the cards was always so much fun. So Susan shares Mardi Gras 2017 was her most favorite Valentine's Day party. That sounds like it would be so much fun, and I'm sure you had such a great time doing it. That's awesome. Oh, and somebody else shared last year there were no treats allowed, and I love that because these types of things do not need to involve food. They can be so much fun without food, just making crafts and having fun with your friends. So let's practice a tough situation. What would you tell a substitute teacher in this situation? So the substitute teacher says, during our Valentine's party this afternoon, we are all going to dip different foods into chocolate. Uh-oh. what would we say to reply to the supply teacher? Either raise your hand to speak, or you can write your message below. So Tara says, I can't eat that. Okay, that's a great response that you can. So one response could be, so just to let you know, I'm allergic to this, this, and this, and putting all that food into there may not be safe for me, so I'm going to be unable to participate in that. Susan shares, I'm allergic to peanuts, tree nuts, and eggs. Those are some awesome responses, guys, because it lets your teacher know that that's not a safe environment for you. Something that I would also say is, if I were replying to the supply teacher, I would say, hey, actually, I can't participate in this. Would you mind if we made cards instead or did a craft? That way you're giving someone options and they can see that you really want to participate, but you want to do something that's safe for everybody. So also, these are some things just to be aware of during Valentine's Day. So there are different seasonal products, for example, Valentine's edition. So knowing that these special editions for Valentine's Day may not always be safe if the food is generally safe for you. So also, box served where label, portion, or lid is removed. So if you guys can see in the pictures up here, none of these things have ingredients on them. They're all open box where people are just kind of grabbing at them. If there's no ingredients for you to see what's in them, it's not safe. There can also be different labels from year to year, especially if things change a little bit. And many may contain warnings, so everybody needs to watch out for that. And make sure that we're reading ingredient lists thoroughly. Okay, so poll question. What Valentine's Day treats do you like the most? Select one of the following. So cinnamon hearts, candy hearts, chocolate, or other. I will tell you guys right now, I've had cinnamon hearts before, and I am not a fan of cinnamon. So a lot of you guys are saying other. Ooh, what kind of treats do you like the most? Answer in the question box. A bunch of you are also saying chocolate. I'm going to have to agree with you. I love chocolate. I have such a soft spot for chocolate, especially Aero bars. And a few of you also put some candy hearts, and you daring ones that like the spicy cinnamon hearts. You guys are awesome. Oh, and Daniel also said I like gummy snacks. Ooh, maybe gummies should be an option. Thanks, guys. Okay, so now it's time to do Allergy Wheel of Fortune. So I'm going to slowly be revealing letters of a special phrase. Type your guesses into the question box below. The first one to guess the correct phrase wins. Are you guys ready? Okay, so that's what it looks like. Every 10 seconds or so, I'm going to reveal a little bit more letters. And the clue below says, what do dairy products say to their sweethearts on Valentine's Day? Anybody got it yet? This is a tough one. Ooh. Oh, and we got a winner. Let's see who else. I will say who won at the end. Let's see who else can guess it. Oh, we have a couple more people getting it. Awesome. And And the answer is, with Andrea way above everybody else, with Renata and Carolyn coming in close behind, you are my butter half. That's a funny one. So what do dairy products say to their sweethearts on Valentine's Day? You are my butter, get it? Half. Good job, guys. So just a reminder, guys, sometimes people like to give smooches on Valentine's Day. I know kissing, ew, gross. But sometimes even if you see relatives, they like to kiss you when they see you, a grandma, an aunt, an uncle. So just to remember, even allergens on someone's lips can be a concern. It can transfer from person to person. So always let those around you know about your allergies. When I'm going to any food event and I know that people are going to be kissing hello and goodbye, I let people know as soon as I get there that I can't kiss them hi or bye, and to not be offended, but it's because I have allergies and I can't risk it. Okay, so it's question time. So there's a couple of rules. So no parent questions, sorry parents, just kids. Either type your question or raise your hand to be unmuted over the phone. Keep your questions short and sweet. No medical advice. And one question each. We can do two if there's time. So while you guys are preparing your questions, I will read one that I actually got in advance. So somebody asks, how do we handle a classroom Valentine's Day party? Thank you so much for asking that question. So something I would do is, first and foremost, remind your teacher about your allergies beforehand. Let them know as soon as they say we're going to have a party. Hey, Miss Frizzle, just to let you know, I am allergic to peanuts and nuts or dairy or whatever the case may be. Also, ask what the food plan will be. Will others be bringing food? Will it be kind of like a potluck? Or will the school be providing it? In these types of situations, I would also make sure, even if they promise you that that they're going to take care of everything, that you bring your own food just in case. So another question I received, what do I do if somebody shares a Valentine's treat or wants to share a Valentine's treat with me? Thank you, Brad. That's a really good question. Thank you so much for asking that. So I would not risk it. At the same plan as always with shared food. If you don't know what's in it, do not have it. You need to be 100% sure it's safe. So like I said before, make sure you bring your own treats from home. Bring that little Aero bar in your knapsack. Have the lollipop that you had at home. That way you can make sure that there's something for you to have too. So, question that I received, do wrapped candies need to be individually labeled? Whoa, that's a good one. So, the packaging needs to be labeled for any type of candies. Sometimes they're all in like a bit, like all the little candies are in like a bigger bag, and only the bigger bag has the ingredients. So each individual chocolate heart, for example, would not need to be labeled. So that means unless you can see the big bag that all those chocolate hearts went into, you don't know what's in them. So it won't be safe for you to have it without seeing the ingredients and without checking to make sure it's safe. That's a really good question. Thank you so much for asking that. So Tara asks a question. Sometimes people insist that their food is peanut free and I don't want to risk it. How do I nicely say no? Thank you so much for asking that question. And you know what, Tara? I still go through that so often where people insist to me that their food is safe for me when I actually don't know. And a great way to just nicely say no is to just say no. Say no and then explain to them why you're saying no. Hey, I can't actually have that. Just to let you know, it's because I'm allergic to this and that, and I'm not sure what's in that. Sometimes you don't want to hurt people's feelings, but when it comes to your health and your safety, saying no is the best thing that you can do, and people are going to have to understand that. Usually people are very, very, very good with understanding it. But yeah, you want to say no and you don't want to give in. So Mackenzie asks, oh, what happens if you're playing truth or dare? So Mackenzie, you can just say no. I would definitely say at the beginning, say no food allowed. There are so many other things that you guys can do without food. That food doesn't need to be involved in the games. So I have one more question, guys, before we close up. So Renata asks, do I believe my classmates when they say that something's not free, or do I check it myself? I never trust anybody. I think that your biggest form of trust is yourself. So unless you can physically read the ingredients yourself in that moment, you cannot believe them. Because the thing is, they're not living with allergies. So sometimes they may missee something. They may misread a label. They may not see everything that's on the label because they're not being as careful as you would be. So you are your best advocate. I hope I answered some of your questions. Thank you guys so much for giving those. Okay, so we are beginning to end the session for this month. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and I really hope you guys can make it for next time. So I want to give a special thanks to the University of Alberta for the original online mentorship program and TD Securities for their financial support. So parents, for more information on Valentine's Day with allergies, visit foodallergycanada.ca for tips on staying safe during Valentine's Day. So next month's session is going to take place on February 25th from 7 to 8, same time, same place. And the topic is going to be allergies and anxiety. And I think this is such an important topic because I feel like every single one of us at some time or another has had a little bit of anxiety about our allergies. So you can register for it at foodallergycanada.ca/events. You can also watch past Allergy Pals monthly webinars at foodallergycanada.ca/webinar. Lastly, please take a second to fill in our survey afterwards. We appreciate your feedback so, so much. Until next time, have a fun and safe Valentine's Day.